Elon's bought Twitter, Neil. Should he be spending his time and money taking people to Mars? What's going on?
Yeah, I've stopped passing judgment on what billionaires do with their money. I mean, think about it. He could just be having a yacht contest for who has the biggest yacht. You know, billionaires have whatever are their habits, and I don't know that any of us would behave any differently if we had billions of dollars. So I've just stopped commenting on what billionaires do or should do with their money. What I can say is, if a billionaire is going to do something, it's kind of interesting that he single-handedly brought electric cars back into. He created a new expectation for the automotive industry, basically single-handedly, and he reinvented commercial rocket launch. So he was doing that with his billions, and he has 44 billion left over, and he wants to own Twitter, which he likes. All right, I don't see anything wrong with that. By the way, most things out there have CEOs who you don't know, and you don't even ask. We just happen to know who the new CEO of Twitter is about to be. And so now this becomes a point of conversation. Why isn't anybody talking about the head of any other organization or company or strategic platforms of communication? So I think the level of scrutiny is unjustified given how much scrutiny we could be giving to so many other things. But that being said, if he does what everyone fears, especially on the left, that he reopens the floodgates, gives Trump an account again, I think we need to perhaps look at it a different way. Free speech is what you want is to not suppress the speech that you don't like, but amplify the speech that you do. And let that be the arena of contest of ideas, because if you suppress ideas, those ideas will still always be there, and they'll run around saying, I have this idea, but these folks don't want to hear it. That's very different from you losing the idea game in an open contest. And then you say, well, how comes nobody's listening to you? Yeah, because they turned me off, because they shut off the channels where I was communicating because they don't want to hear anything that I have to say, or because everything I said is wrong. All right? These are two different ways emergent truths can win. But you want it to be the second way because then no one has a platform left. If it's a platform that is either regressive, puts us all at an existential risk or whatever, let it lose on its own terms.
Speaking of existential risks, how good do you think Mars is as a backup to humanity? One of the problems...
What is it you want to back up?
Well, the fact that we only have one cradle at the moment, right? If something goes wrong here, if we're all being slowly turned into paperclips or grey goo, or there's a bioweapon that gets released or whatever, we don't have some air-gapped backup.
I assume your listeners know what you mean when you say we're all getting turned into paperclips.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes.
So they're AI fluent. Is that correct?
AI fluent. Yeah, that's all one word as well. AI fluent. Yes. Yeah, they are. So they know Nick Bostrom. They know about existential risk.
Paperclip hypothesis.
Yes.
So, or an asteroid or a virus, whatever.
Or anything.
So here's my rebuttal to that. And by the way, this rebuttal is, I don't know many people who have this rebuttal. So this may just be an outlier in the examples you're collecting. But right now, Antarctica is wetter and balmier than any place on Mars. Yet I don't see people lining up to build condominiums there. All right? It's a wholly inhospitable place. Right now it's used for some tourism, but mostly for scientific research. If you want to move to Mars and do it in a way that's not having you confined to a habitat module, you'll want to terraform Mars. And that's turning Mars into Earth. And then ship 1 billion people there. So here's my thought. If you have the power of geoengineering to turn Mars into Earth, then no matter what is about to happen on Earth, no matter what did happen on Earth, you have the power to turn Earth back into Earth. And so I don't see Mars as a realistic backup plan, because whatever you'd have to do to Mars, you could do to Earth, and then that's your backup plan on Earth.
Would it be more difficult to terraform Mars than to perhaps survive a huge asteroid impact or to combat some rogue
you
AI?
deflect the asteroid. What, dude? We're talking. If we can fly to Mars and terraform it, fly to Mars, ship 1 billion people there, I think we'll know how to deflect an asteroid. Okay. Am I on a limb there when I say?
No, I don't think that you are. But my point is that there may be some existential risks which are so existential or so difficult to overcome that the Mars terraforming could be easier than it would be.
There's none that I can think of at this moment. But yes, I will allow that possibility. But there is none I can think of. Okay, so how about a killer virus that'll take us all? Let's invent an antiviral serum that'll take out any virus. All right, is that a stretch to imagine? It's less of a stretch than flying to Mars, terraforming it, and shipping 1 billion people there.
Fair enough.
No matter what you come up with, it's less of a stretch of my imagination as a problem to solve than terraforming Mars and ship 1 billion people there.
That's how big the problem is to do it. The Mars problem is...
Because we don't know how to terraform yet. We don't know how to terraform. I think we could build a habitat module. Sure, we can figure that out. Yeah, but how many people are going to live there? And you have to bring supplies. You have to have supply ships. So, but still, to do that, there's a lot of science and technology and time and money. Just solve the problems here on Earth. Just solve them.
So you're saying that Elon buying Twitter actually is the best use of his money and his attention rather than going to Mars?
Oh, no, I'm not. I will not judge what people should or should not do with their money. Okay?
Yeah.
So I will not say, I'm glad he did this or that. What I will say is, and by the way, 44 billion is it 15% of his wealth? 20% of his wealth?
I think he's raised it from investors as well, yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, that wealth, it's not like he doesn't have that money anymore. It's invested in a thing that has value. So it's not like you went to buy candy and you ate the candy and you don't have the money anymore. So I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment on how billionaires spend their money. Just not going to do that.
Got you.
I can tell you, he wants to terraform Mars. I don't have a problem with that. But if you're doing it because you think Earth needs a backup plan, that's the wrong reason. That's kind of objectively false. Let me say that differently. It's hard to defend it for that reason. You can defend it for other reasons. It's a cool thing to do. The technology demonstration, sure. But if you're going to say we need to put our eggs in 2 baskets instead of 1, so that when a disaster hits one planet, everyone else can just watch it and watch half their species die and somehow be okay with that rather than prevent it from happening in the first place. If you're okay with that, then fine. But I'm saying fix the problems that you don't even have that solution you're trying to that problem you're trying to escape.
What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that, then press here for the full unedited episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.